Of the high table. Thank you to the parents that are present here this morning. And on behalf of myself, my wife, and TJ Quick Foundation, its board, I want to thank everyone present here. Today we are witnessing what is the first graduation ceremony of Next Generation Kids University. The idea of Next Generation Kids University was born sometimes in January this year, and it was designed specifically to raise the aspiration of little children. One of the things we found out in society, a lot of children seem to be dropping out of school. I know some blame it on economic circumstances, but the real evidence and the real reason is a lack of aspiration. They don't dream big enough. To quote one of my dear friends, Les Brown, shoot for the stars. Even if you land at the moon, but shoot for the stars. So in coming up with the concept of Next Generation, the program is designed to raise the aspiration of little children, to raise it so high, especially even from disadvantaged communities where evidence has it that the circle of poverty, the circle of underdevelopment is being perpetuated. And one of the things we have tried to do in the last 3 weeks is just to raise the aspirations. And why children? We are concentrating on children because it is easier to raise a child, to build a child, than to repair broken adults. It is very challenging to repair broken adults. To quote from the Bible, it says, train up a child in the way he will go. And when he's grown up, what will happen? He will not depart from it. Now, I usually paraphrase that scripture to say that if a child is trained to be poor, now sometimes somebody will wonder, how is a child trained to be poor? You are not trained to be poor by deliberate act of class work, but if the environment, your upbringing, everything about you has programmed you to be poor, when you are grown up, there is very little that can be done to change your circumstances. I usually tell people, for almost 10 years now, Serena Williams has maintained an unbroken record of dominating the lawn tennis sports. I said the reason is simple. She started playing lawn tennis at the age of 7. That anything you start when you are young, if your aspiration is very well raised on that subject, you are likely to end up a champion. It is difficult to learn a trait or a new habit once you are matured. Now, it is children that own the future that we all dream of. Jack Ma, the owner of Alibaba, says, when you are before 25, try and work for an SME because then your brain is still fresh. It can still take new challenges. He said, but past that age, I advise you to look for children to work for them because they own the future. Now, if you can teach a child when they are young, when he or she is young, to dream big, and that dream is sustained, I tell you, they will become a star and a wonder. I mean, the Olympic Games that held in Brazil just finished 2 weeks ago, and a young American black girl, Simone, won almost 5 gold medals. I was talking somewhere in Ogun State 3 weeks ago, and I said, the whole country called Nigeria did not win 1 gold medal. A 19-year-old girl won 5 gold medals. Why? The reason for the success is that these are children that have been trained in the art and profession they practice from when they were as young as 6 years old. Now, I worked with the European Union for a while in 2003, 2004 on bringing long-term unemployed people back to work. And I thought I was doing a great job, but before I left the work I was doing for the European Union, they have come up with a new law that children should start learning entrepreneurship as early as 6 years of age. Now, the country where I come from, Nigeria, we are right now trying to
put entrepreneurship in university syllabus. Now, it's no wonder it's difficult to produce entrepreneurs, because by the time we are old, it is very difficult to reprogram the brain. It is very difficult to change the mental programming that guarantees success. Now, I talk in a number of places I go, I say, we will keep blaming one person, blaming Buhari, blaming one person who is a leader after Buhari or before Buhari, for the reasons why we are not making progress. But the real reason we are not making progress is that failure is part of our culture. Failure is something that is part of our culture. And for any meaningful change to come about in this country, it is not going to be brought about by any messiah. No, change doesn't happen like that. It is going to come about by aggregate collective efforts, of small efforts like we are having today in Adeji, like Next Generation Kids University. Aggregate efforts of so many non-profits, NGOs, of people trying to make a change in Nigeria. When you put those efforts together, it will come together to bring about a giant momentum that, look, Nigeria won't be in the same place again. If we are waiting for just one president, my elder sister is one of the markers for the current or the immediate past West African Examination Council. And she said to me, Tunde, we are all saying Buhari, Buhari, Buhari. The center, I marked their English. Look, all the students wrote the same essay, full stop was in the same place, comma was in the same place. You see, what it means was that the teachers wrote the answer on the blackboard for the students to copy. He said, is that a problem with Buhari? The answer is no. Now, there is a cultural problem that's inherent in Nigeria. Now, to come about a change, look, like I said earlier on, a change is only going to come about by aggregate effort. No one person has more than 24 hours. You have 24 hours, I have 24 hours in a day. President Buhari has 24 hours. He cannot do any magic with that 24 hours. He has limited reach, like any governor, like anybody. But together, my friends and the people will normally say, look, the people who elect the leaders will elect somebody like them. So if we want to change the output, the results of the leaders elected, we have to change the people that elect the leaders. So it is on that ground that Next Generation Kids University has kicked off. It has kicked off to change, to plant in the minds of kids right now the seed that will make them giants in years to come. To quote the founder of Frank Aibogu, founder of Business Day, Frank Aibogu, while speaking 3 weeks ago on CEO Apprentice, he said, what happens here, the world will see it in 10 years to come. And I want to repeat that statement. What has happened in Adeji in the last 3 weeks, the world, not the nation Nigeria, the world will see the result of what has happened to these children sitting before us today, 10 years to come. Thank you very much.